Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, National Preparedness Month is coming. So I actually have about 3 or 4 solar generator reviews that I'm going to be posting this week and probably within the next 3 weeks as well. I'm going to try to keep it one per week. I'm not going to do one every day, all right? So that you can all take a look at the different options that there are out there as far as solar generators go, and also in different sizes and different price ranges. This here is the AFERY Y2000 solar generator, as I like to call it. They call it a portable power station, but I call it solar generator for those of you that don't know, because it can actually be charged with solar in addition to being able to be charged with an AC cable. This one has UPS, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Before I continue, let me just show you really quick what this solar generator comes with at a pretty competitive price, by the way. I believe that this is going to be sold at about the $800 to $900 level, but I will leave any codes and the link for this particular solar generator in the description of the video, as well as on a pinned comment, ladies and gentlemen, like I always do. So this came with a little case, and I like that they have these little cases now where you can actually put your stuff. One thing better that would be better than a little case like this would be if it had a flap up here, if you can actually store things in a compartment in the solar generator. But you know, depending on the engineering of the machine and how the insides work, they may not be able to do this. But this is the second best thing that they could do. And there's not too many things that come in here. You've got your warranty card, you've got your owner's manual right here that I've been looking through. You have your MC4 connector with an Anderson connector, all right? And it's nice that it came with an MC4 connector for your solar panels. The solar panel input, ladies and gentlemen, I'll probably go over this again when we do the specifications, but this has an input of a maximum of 500 watts, which is not bad for a machine that sports a 1997 watt-hour battery. The battery, by the way, is a LiFePO 4 battery, which in my opinion is like the best battery out there for solar generators. So it's going to give you about 3,500 charge and recharge cycles before it starts to lose capacity. Meaning that if you charge this and discharge it every single day for 3,500 days, it will charge up to 100%. And then after that, it may start to lose a little capacity, meaning that you may only be able to charge it up to 80 or 90%. It doesn't mean that after 3,500 full charge and recharge cycles that this is going to be garbage and you're going to put it in the landfill. No, it just means that it's going to lose a little bit of the capacity of the energy that it can receive into its batteries. And many people ask me, can I have this indoors? Yes, that's what they're made for. They're made for indoors. You really don't want to handle lithium batteries and depend on them if you're in negative 40-degree weather like we get up here in Alaska. You don't want to do that. They're not going to work very well. But anyways, I digress, ladies and gentlemen. It also comes with a charging cord, which is good news. I always like to see a solar generator, especially the newer ones that are coming out now, that come with a charging cord and that don't come with a charging block. Nothing wrong with a charging block if you want to have a solar generator that you're going to charge slowly over time, right? But if you want something to charge quickly, and if you wanted to have UPS, uninterrupted power supply, you're going to want to have something that charges with a cord instead of a block. Let me go ahead and explain to you how UPS works and what the delay is on this machine for UPS. UPS is uninterrupted power supply. And what that means is that, let's say that this machine is hooked up to the power grid, meaning that you have this plugged into the machine. It's receiving power from the grid because you have the cord plugged into your AC outlet at home, meaning any garden variety outlet. And then you have, let's say, a refrigerator plugged into the machine. The refrigerator is going to be getting its power from the grid and not from the battery, as long as the grid is on. So as long as there's power going through the lines outside and coming through your house, your refrigerator or whatever appliance or item you have plugged into this machine is going to be getting its energy right through the grid, bypassing the battery, which is a good thing, right? So now let's say that the grid goes down. Let's say there's a power outage on your block. There's no more power going through the lines. What's going to happen is that whatever appliance you have hooked up to this machine, it's going to automatically switch over to battery power. And the smaller amount of time that it takes for it to switch over, the better. The switch over time on this machine is 10 milliseconds, which is very, very fast. All right, this is one of the fastest UPS switchovers that I've seen in solar generators. And one thing to remember that while this is on UPS mode, ladies and gentlemen, even though this machine is rated to put out 2,000 watts of power continuous, while it's on UPS mode, you can't draw more than 1,100 watts at a time. Right? So for example, let's say you have this for backup for your refrigerator and freezer. And let's say your refrigerator and freezer is going to pull about, let's say combined at the max, whenever the compressors are turning on at the same time, let's say 900 watts. That's going to work perfect for that. It's going to work perfect for something that you're going to have a surge of up to 900 watts because it's not over 1,100 watts. Now, when this is running on battery power, on the actual power that's stored in this device, you're going to be able to get 2,000 watts out of it continuous. And we are going to try to trip this device today because I'm going to use my two favorite new things to use to try to trip devices. My air conditioner or dehumidifier, because it's kind of chilly now over here, and my heater at the same time to see if we can trip this, but that'll be later on. It's still early in the morning here, ladies and gentlemen, but later on today, I am going to go ahead and start working on the roof of a shed that I'm building. I'm going to take this out there to see if I can get my compressor and my saw working on this at the same time. But we'll see how it handles those tools individually and paired up later on, hopefully when the sun starts coming up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're thinking. AP, stop talking about all of these specifications. Show us what the thing looks like, what it has, and how it works. This is obviously the working part of the machine. You've got almost everything here except for your AC outlets that are your 20 amp rated outlets. However, remember that 20 amps is the equivalent of about 2,400 watts. So it doesn't mean that you can draw 2,400 watts for these just because it's got 20 amp rated outlets, because the maximum is 2,000 watts for the entire machine. But it is nice that you have 6 outlets, because let's say, for example, your garden variety person that's going to buy one of these machines is going to want them for a refrigerator, freezer, lights, computer, and maybe entertainment center. So that's about 5 things right there that you can use to hook up to your AC outlets. That's not going to equal up to maybe 1,000 watts of all those things. Those are the regular things that people get these machines for. Maybe a CPAP as well. So you got plenty of outlets to carry out the functions of those things that are necessary during a power outage. And then you got your other side also that has all of your USB ports, which we'll go over here in a minute. But this side also has a button that all you need to do is press it and it will turn on your AC function. Now the opposite side has your input functions, all right? So here's your input for your AC. And remember that your AC can charge this up to 1,100 watts per hour. So it'll take about, I would say, 2 hours to charge this from 0 to full. Remember that it has a battery that's 2,000 watt hours. We'll call it 2,000 watt hours instead of saying 1997 all the time. It also has your input for your solar, which has an Anderson connector. And it also has overload protection in case we're trying to put too much power into it at once. This will trip, and all you have to do is restart the entire machine, reset this, and you're good to go. Now, there's really nothing to go over on the back side of this machine, but the front side, as you can see, has your garden variety cigarette lighter adapter. This has something that I haven't seen before. It has an XT60 output. You know, I've seen machines have Anderson connector outputs, but this one has an XT60 output, which is pretty interesting. And it's got your 5521 output 12-volt ports as well. All right. And in order to turn any of these on, first you have to have the power on. And it's just a long press to turn on the power. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, it's on. I hope that you can see the screen really well. It's at 100%. It's got input and it's got output. I really like it when they include the input and the output at the same time in the machine. And now in order to operate your functions is very simple. A quick press, you can see that it turns on. So now this section is activated. Turn it off, a quick press turns it off. Simplicity, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the things that I like about solar generators, because they're usually pretty much plug and play, very simple to use. When you purchase a solar generator, no matter which one, you should always use it. I gave away a solar generator here not too long ago to a good friend of mine. And I told him, I says, don't put it in the closet. Use it. Use it for the next month or two, plugging in your computer, plugging in your fridge, see how long it'll last with your fridge plugged in, all these kind of things. because you need to become accustomed to being able to push these buttons when there's no lights, right? And if there's no lights, guess what? This one's got you covered because it comes with a light. Now, close your eyes if you are sensitive to lights, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to go ahead and turn this one on just to show you what it looks like. All right, here's your light. We're on. Now, if you're in trouble, SOS, SOS, all right? And then I believe it's just a flash, okay? There you go. You got a little light built in. To tell you the truth, I've never really used the lights on my solar generators. Why? Because I'm a prepper and I have about 3,000 flashlights. Now, your USB comes equipped with just two standard USB-A, two USB-A, but that are the fast charging, and two USB-Cs that are 100 watts per. In other words, you have two dinosaurs, two upgraded dinosaurs, and two of the ones that are the new ones that everyone else is using. I'll tell you what, I really like the USB-Cs because they do charge things a little bit quicker than the USB-As. But it's nice to have them all for those of us that just can't let go of the past, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? I can't do a review video without forgetting to tell you something. So I forgot to show you one of the things that this also brings, which is, and I like this, it is a nice cover for it. It's not a very expensive cover, but it looks like it's waterproof. It doesn't have any padding, but it does have an elastic band around it to make it easy to put on. So, and the reason why I think this is important is because a lot of people purchase these items, and I don't recommend this. I don't recommend that you purchase a solar generator and never use it only for emergencies. I recommend that you use it every once in a while so that you can get used to using it and so that you know that it works. Worst thing you want to do is put something in a corner, never touch it, and then when you really need it, find out that something went wrong with it. Right? Now, this does come with a 2-year warranty. I'm not saying that there's something that's going to go wrong with it, but you know what I mean. You shouldn't get something or purchase something and just put it in a corner away. But if you do get this and you put it in a corner, in a closet somewhere for 6 months at a time, and you take it out to make sure that it works and to make sure that the battery's topped off, then putting a cover like this really does help to keep dust and stuff like that off of it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you about when I do review videos. There's other channels that are great channels that like review these things and test them in the most extreme ways with a lot of like tools that they have that measure the exact amount of wattage that is being used and all that kind of stuff. I like to test these out for its functionality. And I know that if this thing says that it can run at 2,000 watts continuous, that I'm going to be able to run my refrigerator, my freezer, my lights. I don't have a CPAP, but I know that it would at least run a CPAP for those people that need it. Pretty much that this would be able to accommodate what I need in order to maintain my house during a grid down situation, right? So that's how I test this, is from that aspect. Every once in a while, I get a little bit geeky and I'm like, let me see if this thing puts out the exact amount of wattage that it says it's going to put out as per its rated 1997 watt hours. But basically, does it work? Does it power my fridge, my freezer? Well, if it powers my heater and my air conditioner at the same time, or one or the other at a very high wattage, then I know that it's going to power my fridge and my freezer, which really, in my opinion, is most people's concerns during a power outage, in addition to being able to keep some kind of a heating system running. So as you can see here, I have my heater plugged into it, right? And this here is a power cord that's extended over to my air conditioner. So I'm going to turn on my air conditioner and my heater one at a time so that we can see what the draw is on each of them and to see if this will handle them both together. And of course, we need to turn our machine on before we can do any of this, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light before I turn these appliances on so that you can see the screen a little bit better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so I wasn't able to use the air conditioner function. I had to turn it to the dehumidifying function because it's chillier than 64 degrees in the bunker, and 64 degrees is the minimum that it will go. Right now, it's only like 59 degrees in the bunker, which is just fine with me. So you can see that it's only up to about 1,500 watts that it's using. But remember, we have our heater plugged in too, and we're going to see this wattage go up because I'm going to put my heater on low right now. And you can see that it immediately popped up to about 1070, right, from 569 or so. So now let's go ahead and put it on medium. And now we are up to almost 1400 watts, and that's still about 600 watts short of what this is able to maintain continuously. So now we're going to put our heater on high. And look at that, we are drawing 1870 watts continuous, but I did get out one of my other solar generators, all right, so that I can plug it in, because my other solar generator that I have will draw up to about 180 to 200 watts, and that's perfect to see if we can trip this, because that will just put this over 2000 watts. And here's the cord. Let me go ahead and plug it in. And look at that, we are at 2015, 16, 17, going up very slowly. My other solar generator is registering that it's taking in about 180 watts or so. And the key here is that it is maintaining at over 2000 watts. And ladies and gentlemen, it seems that it's going to maintain this for a while, because it's been a good while now. We can see that it's down to 90%, and it has no problem keeping up just a little bit over 2000. So as far as I'm concerned, ladies and gentlemen, this has passed the test. So what do I think about the AFERY Y2000? And I hope that that's how you pronounce the name right and the model number, AFERY Y2000. I think it's a decent solar generator, but I think that the price is very good. I believe that right now these are selling between $800 and $900. And remember, this is a 1997 watt-hour machine, which means that you're getting your watt-hours for less than 50 cents per. And again, I'll say that's why I like competition, because competition in the end is the best thing for the consumer. It allows you to get a better product at a better price. So let me say thank you very much to AFERY for sending me this solar generator to review. It has passed its initial review as far as I am concerned. So if you want to take a look at it a little more in depth on your own, there will be a link and a discount code if you'd like to use it on a pinned comment and on the description of this video. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in today. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.